When we finally cracked the secrets of faster-than-light travel, we were elated. We sent thousands, tens of thousands of small crafts jumping all over the galaxy, desperately trying to find someone, anyone, to share this universe with. We found no one, just ruins. No corpses, no evidence of where they all went. It was like everyone just disappeared. We kept traveling, further and further and further we went, growing ever more desperate in our search. We grew in size, claiming system after system, colonizing everywhere we went. Eventually, our technology grew rapidly, and we were able to terraform whole planets. That process just got faster with each new breakthrough, and within 1,000 years, we were able to terraform worlds in just a few weeks. Our population exploded then, as worlds previously too hostile for life were terraformed into verdant garden worlds in less than the time it took for us to reach the next system over for the first time. Our empire kept growing, expanding, improving. But we were still alone. We were still one people against the darkness, and we didn't know how to handle that. Many turned to religion, some just stopped caring altogether. Our society was split between those who wanted to keep continuing the centuries-long search, and others who wanted to ignore everything outside of their immediate day-to-day lives, content to just focus on the daily grind as a means of coping. As the centuries passed, more of the galaxy was mapped, excavated, and examined, and we discovered the horrifying truth. Something from outside the galaxy had killed everyone millions, if not billions of years ago. Some great organic swarm that slammed into the southern regions of the galaxy, consuming everything and everyone, processing them into biological soup and stripping worlds of the spark of life. It was unstoppable, unknowable, and completely undefeated. The consumed trillions of lives across dozens of species then vanished, erasing an entire galaxy's worth of culture and history, leaving nothing in its wake but dead worlds and empty ruins. We grew desperate then, sending millions of manned craft and billions of automated survey probes scouring the galaxy ever faster. Systems previously ignored due to conditions being thought too harsh were now scoured inch by inch for the smallest sign of life, but still it took millennia to find them. Our empire had grown to encompass approximately 80% of the galaxy. It had been almost 20,000 years since we began our search, and finally, at long last, we found them. A small world, on one of the galactic arms unpopulated by the previous empires, we found them. They were physically small in comparison to us, and they hadn't even mastered spaceflight yet. Their cultures were so varied and different from each other, even over small distances, that it boggled the mind as to how they managed to communicate as well as they did. But they shared a unified global culture based around their entertainment choices and shared stories. We sat at the edge of their solar system, settling on their furthest planet to watch and wait. It would take them centuries to crack the secrets of FTL, but we were comfortable waiting for that day to reveal ourselves. We had finally found the sentience we had searched for so long. They were complicated and shouty, but we didn't care. As we watched them mature, unify, and grow, we rejoiced. When they left their planet to walk on their moon, we cheered with them. As their industries choked their skies, we mourned but watched, fascinated, as they unified and cleansed their planet. As their primitive spacecraft pierced the skies and threw themselves towards their neighboring planet, we watched with held breaths as they took their first steps towards colonization, and we rejoiced as they were successful. Every new day brought with it new stories, advancements, hardships, and tales of success. We grew to care for them like our own children, to love them as we had never loved before. And then one day, after about 3 centuries of observation, it happened. A scientist working on a project of her own accidentally stumbled across our communications. We watched with anticipation as she went and got her colleagues' help to decrypt it and learned of our existence. Watching them stand there dumbstruck was amusing, but it was what they did next that surprised us. They messaged us directly. Before they notified their own government or even just the people in the small moon colony they worked in, they messaged us. Our communications tech was so excited to finally speak to the beings she had watched for so long and come to love so greatly that she didn't think before responding. It took 2 days to convince the scientists that this wasn't a prank, and even a video communication left them wondering if this was some elaborate hoax, but they eventually realized it wasn't. The moment they realized, their eyes lit up just the same as ours had when we discovered them. They were so happy to not be alone in the world, and we were so happy they finally knew about us. Governments were notified, secret communications passed back and forth, and then the story broke across their system. Their species rejoiced when they learned of our existence, and widespread speculation about our culture, our history, and our compatibility began. But the one thing every being knew was that we were friendly and that we loved them like children. Alliances were drawn up, technology shared, trade agreements ratified. We opened up our arms and our empire to them, and as they were flooded by our communications network, they learned about everything. The scourge, the search, how overjoyed we were that we found them, and their leader proclaimed their friendship right then and there. They made it part of their very culture that their species would always be friends to ours, would always support us, and would ensure our safety in their systems. We, in turn, pledged to protect them always, to share our wealth and technology always, and to ensure they were safe wherever they went in this galaxy. We would make certain they would never be alone like we were for all those millennia. We would protect them. We would care for them. Our new friends, humanity.